In 1987, B. Ramalinga Raju started Satyam Computer with his brother-in-law. It was a Hyderabad-based IT company. Before starting Satyam Computers, B. Ramalinga Raju had a cotton business. In 1991-92, Satyam Computers got listed in the BSE. In 2001, it got listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Satyam Computer was one of India's fastest growing companies, for which Satyam Computer and B. Ramalinga Raju had received many awards. Satyam was on a good growth track, but there was a boom in real estate and Raju's focus shifted towards that. Real estate rates were going up fast in Hyderabad, so Raju quickly started buying land properties in Hyderabad and areas around it. Mehta's Infra and Mehta's Property that Raju started in 1988, he started to buy properties in the name of these companies, his family members and himself. Raju started to buy properties aggressively, and when he needed more money, he started to manipulate the financial statements of Satyam Computers. That means he began foul play. For example, if the company had a profit of 60 crores, Raju would show that as 600 crores in the financial statements. And by doing this, he tried to show that Satyam was rapidly growing. With Satyam Computers' constant growth and strong financials, its share price went up, and on the high share price, B. Ramalinga Raju and his brother B. Rama Raju began to sell their shares and kept their other shares as collateral and took a loan and used that money to buy properties. To buy properties, Raju had opened nearly 365 companies. Raju used to buy land in the name of his family, friends and relatives. The people working on his farm, whose salary was rupees 4,000 to 5,000, Raju had made some of them the directors of few of the companies and bought land in their names.
The infamous Raju, due to his strong influence, made his friends director of some companies. The metro man Mr. Sridharan said that Raju had insider information about Hyderabad's proposed metro route, which implies that he already knew the entire plan. Post which he aggressively started to buy land near this area, assuming that when metro comes, the prices of these lands will skyrocket and he would be able to show the profit that he made from real estate to be the one made by Satyam Computer. Keeping this in mind, he created fake financial figures to bridge the gap between actual sales and profits. To show more sales, he created fake sale invoices. But the problem remained that there was no actual profit made in reality. To mitigate this, fake bank statements were made to show that profit made from the sales were actually in the bank. This meant that he had to show a lot of cash reserve that was never existing. For many years, Raju kept faking the sales and profits, showing good growth in the company, with which he kept attracting the investors. It led to an increase in the share prices of Satyam Computers, through which the promoters were able to make profit in the long run.
In 1999, the promoter's shareholding in Satyam was 24%. It dropped to 2% by the end of 2008, and he used this money to buy properties. The more Satyam grew, the gap between Raju's fake figure and the actual figure increased too, and this gap became a huge amount. In 2008, real estate slowed down because of the recession, and Raju's plan of selling properties and fixing the gap between the figures had failed. After this, Raju made a new plan to fill this gap. According to this plan, Satyam Computer would buy a 51% stake in Mehta's Infra and Mehta's Properties, and Raju said this money would go to the promoters of Mehta's. Mehta's and Mehta's Properties were owned by the Raju's family. Satyam spelled backward is Mehta's. Raju thought this deal would help him show that the company had been bought, using the gap between the actual figures and the fake figures. But in reality, there was no cash transaction because those were Raju family's business. This way, the gap between the fake figures and the actual figure will get filled. On 16 December 2008, Satyam Computers Board of Directors approved this plan. Raju sanctioned this deal without taking permission from the shareholders, but Satyam investors didn't like this decision, especially Satyam's institutional investors. After this decision, Satyam's stock fell rapidly. A US investor even filed a lawsuit against Satyam, and there was a 55% drop in Satyam's stock in New York Stock Exchange. Due to this pressure, Satyam decided to cancel the plan of acquiring Mehta's Infra and Mehta's Properties.
As soon as his plan failed, the four independent directors of the Satyam resigned. Watching his last plan fail for filling the gap, on 7 January 2009, Raju confessed that Satyam Computer has been manipulating financial statements for years now. So let's take a look at how Raju inflated the figures for the financial year 2008-9 second quarter. As you can see here, the profit shown by Raju is a lot more than the actual profit. Similarly, there's a lot of difference between the real cash deposit and the one shown by Raju. This way, Raju kept manipulating Satyam financial statement for many years. Raju revealed that there is a difference of rupees 7,000 crores between the actual and the fake figures. After this, along with Raju, the independent directors and auditors of Satyam were being cautioned that the company has been manipulating the financial statement for so long and the independent directors and auditors are not aware of this. How is it possible? Satyam's auditor was PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, so figures kept inflating and PwC didn't bother to check the invoices of statement for so many years. An auditor's job is to check a company's financial statement and their reliability and accuracy. In a way, an auditor is a representative of a shareholder, but here the auditors cheated them too. Then SEBI banned PwC for 2 years and the US stock market regulator SEC has fined PwC for $6 million. Later, it was that Satyam used to pay PwC double the fee as any other IT company gave to their auditor. On 9 January 2009, Raju and his brother-in-law B. Ramaraju got arrested. After this scam, the government immediately appointed new board members in Satyam and began preparing to save Satyam from collapsing. The government planned to sell the company as soon as possible. Finally, Tech Mahindra bought Satyam.
Tech Mahindra in April 2009 bought 51% stakes in Satyam and changed the company's name to Mahindra Satyam. Later, in June 2013, Mahindra Satyam merged with Tech Mahindra. According to the CBI report, Raju was into money laundering and he first used to send money to Europe and would then reroute it to India. And with this money, Raju would buy lots of anonymous buildings. The ED pressed charges on Raju and 47 people along with him and on his 166 companies for money laundering. It also seized Raju and his family's property. SEBI charged Raju and his family with insider trading and ordered them to return 1850 crores of profit they made through insider trading, with an interest rate of 12%. They also banned them from dealing in the securities market for 14 years. On April 2015, the special CBI court sentenced Raju, his brother B. Ramaraju, the then CFO Srinivas Vadlamani, to PwC partners and 5 other people to 7 years of jail. And Raju and his brother were fined rupees 5.5 crores. Before this scam got exposed, Satyam had a big name. It was India's 4th largest IT company. Satyam's stock was in Nifty and Sensex too. On 9 January 2009, Satyam Computer's stock got removed from Nifty and Sensex index. In September 2008, the World Council for Corporate Governance presented Satyam Computer with the Global Peacock Award, and just 4 months later, Satyam's accounting fraud got exposed. Satyam's CFO at the time, Srinivas Vadlamani, and some executive, few months before Raju confessed, had sold their Satyam shares. Just a few days after confessing, Satyam's share price fell from Rs 170 to 6.50. After the scam, the investors of Satyam incurred a loss of Rs 14,162 crores. LIC was an institutional investor of Satyam, faced a loss of Rs 950 crores. The meaning of Satyam in Sanskrit is truth, but what Satyam's promoters did, it did not have an ounce of the truth. They were all lies. Raju just wanted to make money, and for that, he committed crimes such as money laundering, insider trading, and accounting frauds.